The concept of time, today, tomorrow, has changed so much. And yet, so much more still needs to be done. People demand comfort in all aspects of their lives. We need to reduce the use of fossil fuels to a minimum, and this poses an enormous challenge. Demand for renewable energy continues to grow, as does its generation. The installation of solar panels and construction of wind turbine farms means that the energy transition is well underway. Existing networks are being stretched to the limit. This is why TenneT is installing new high-voltage transmission lines underground, such as those between Tilburg Noord-Best, working on the future. NRG was awarded the contract for this section of the route. The construction team included all the disciplines required for this type of project. Open trench, cables and horizontal directional drilling are in the DNA of Alsema, De Nijs and Van Vulpen. All of these combine to create a powerful synergy with the necessary strength, knowledge and drive to bring this project to a successful conclusion. The circuit starts at the existing high-voltage station at Tilburg North to the transformation station in Oorschot. From there, the route continues on to Boxtel and high-voltage station Best. The construction of new underground high-voltage transmission lines demands a great deal of energy from both people and material. The design is drawn up collectively during the engineering phase. All aspects of the project are carefully prepared and discussed with the required disciplines and stakeholders. The lines are installed within the set time frame and safety requirements as if by a single joint team. The compliance of 55 government authorities was required for traversing this route. With respect to the rights in business law agreements, TenneT's land department worked together with NRG from a shared perspective to conclude agreements within the schedule. Before the project can actually be started, local residents, landowners and stakeholders need to be notified via local managers. Ecologists and archaeologists are also brought in to examine the individual locations in more detail. Only when the location is given the all clear can we start the execution phase. Everyone worked flat out to lay 2 by 150 kV high voltage connections along a 32-kilometer route. That translates into over 190 kilometers of cables. The transmission lines were installed at 36 locations and 72 horizontal directional drillings over a total length of more than 40 kilometers using a trenchless construction method. Horizontal directional drillings with lengths varying from 35 to 1270 meters were used to install protective pipes for the cable connections. This enables us to minimize or even completely avoid causing inconvenience at exceptional locations. The E-Power pipe technique was used in this project. This is a technique in which the boreholes traverse a horizontal route at a fixed shallow depth, in this case about 2 meters below the ground. The applied length of 2 by 2000 meters of EPP is a world first. The location for applying this was chosen because it is where the route traverses a protected nature area and a military zone. This enabled us to keep environmental damage and inconvenience to the surrounding area to a minimum. An open trench was dug over a length of more than 11 kilometers in which 2 150 kilovolt connections were laid. When laying cables in an open trench, you need to lower the groundwater level. NRG used the zip method to minimize the amount of groundwater that needed to be pumped up. This is an installation method devised by NRG that has proved to work well. The longest ever land cable was laid as part of this project. A 2,500 meter long, 150 kilovolt, 2,500 square millimeter cable. NRG transported and laid this cable using a special reel trailer. At weights of as much as 52 tons, it takes strength and discipline to pull cables through the protective pipes. During this process, all the details, such as speed and power, were carefully monitored and recorded. 26 jointing locations were used to connect the cables to each other. 6 fusion sockets were installed at each location, bringing the total to 156 couplings. Assembly of these couplings requires meticulous work to a high standard, as any failure or reduction in conductivity is unacceptable. A team works on this in a specially developed assembly cabin. Once the project had been laid in full, the cables connected and tested, we made sure that the entire route and all the work sites were returned to their original condition and owners with approval. The work was carried out to the complete satisfaction of the farmers, stakeholders, licensing authorities and TenneT. NRG completed this fantastic project within a 12-month period. NRG, an energetic team that displays outstanding teamwork.